let me get into this story, bro. Let me take y'all to the dorm. So I'm down there at Reedsville. I told you Reedsville is a real crazy place, man. I'm down there, I'm doing my thing. The hustle game is really, it's not really slow down there because it's a lot of folks in the dorms that's hustling at some point in time, bro. But it was a guy, particularly in my dorm, he was getting a lot of weight in, you feel me? Me and him was real cool though. So he pretty much be selling weight and I'd be selling like breakdown and stuff. So it wasn't too bad for me, bro. But you know the thing I always tell y'all about dealing with some of these guys that's on the dirt bike, bro. It's always a hassle and it's always like a credit game dealing with them. So I'm in the dorm, bro. It was one guy in particular, a guy named Wisconsin, bro. He was blood. Not the typical blood, not the typical YN, not the typical young wild dude. Let me say it like this. He wasn't even old. He wasn't even young. He probably was like 26, 27 at the time, or probably 28 at the time, bro. But he didn't fit the typical gang member. Let me put it like that. He was from Wisconsin. He was a black dude, but he pretty much like a white dude in a black dude body, man. But he been locked up for a little minute down there at Reedsville, and he had became blood. And you could tell that he was pressed into the blood gang, bro. I didn't know for sure, but I could tell. Sometimes you see some guys and you be like, how you blood, or how you GD, or how you Crip? A lot of times they're pressed in. You could tell like he was pressed in. Probably was being extorted or whatever, until guys be like, man, come on home. You ain't got to be extorted no more, and stuff like that. So anyways, bro, while I'm in the dorm down, and he found out that I'm hustling the cream, aka the dirt bike, he started pulling up on me. Now, he paying good, he pulling up, he might get a 25, he might get a 50. And he had a roommate now. His roommate is another character all within itself. A roommate named Black Boy. Now, Black Boy was GD. White dude though. Tattoos everywhere. All over his head, face. Kind of older dude. He was from Augusta, Georgia. Been gone a long time, bro. Kneecaps tattooed all the way up to his like mid-thigh. All the way down, bro. Real junkie, bro. Both of them was roommates, bro. So what they used to do is Black Boy might come to me sometime and Black Boy might get whatever, you know what I'm saying? And here come Wisconsin, aka Cheesehead. That's what I used to call him, Cheesehead. His head shaped like, he ain't shaped like no cheesehead, but you know, Wisconsin, Green Bay, the Packers, Cheesehead, Aaron Rodgers. That's why I say that. But him, his head was like a hammerhead shark, bro. His head was real, just straight like this. One eye over here, one eye over here. I don't even think he could look like this. One eye be like that, one eye be like that. But that was him. So Wisconsin, like I said, he used to pay good. Whenever he owed me food, he used to pay my food or whatever like that. But like I said, just like the typical junkie, this guy, bro, when he'll come and he'll get a 25, he'll come back 10 minutes later. Boy, that thing that fire, let me get a 50. So, you know, as far as you be like, you would run him up. Sometimes he owe me $350, $400. But I'm always careful enough not to run him up too much, bro. Because you don't want to run him up too much to where they be like, they want to take off on you, because they will catch out on you, bro. That's the thing that go on in the chain gang plenty of times. It happened to me plenty of times. Lose plenty of money just like that, bro, with folks catching out on me. You might wake up in the morning, bro, and guess what? You be like, man, where that boy Wisconsin at? I be like, boy, that boy called out last night. You be like, man, break your whole heart, bro. You might have $500-600 gone in the dust right there, bro. Happened to me plenty of times, so I try not to run him up too much, bro. So I remember one night, he was at like $400, bro. He came back to me. He was like, man, I need another 50, man. Because this is exactly how they do this type of drugs. They'll do them, and they'll do them, and they'll do them. They'll get together with other people that they know, and they'll come together and be like, hey, you go over here and you get a 50, or you go over there and you get a gram, and such and such. You know what I'm saying? So one thing with me, with the other guys who hustle in the dorm, we always stayed connected. You feel me? Always be like, bro, what home got going on? He owe you some money? He be like, yeah, bro, he owe me. Like, boy, what he owe you? Like, boy, he owe me like $400. God, boy, you ran him up. Try not to run him up too much. So we always stay in connection about what's going on and who got the biggest tabs or whatever like that. Like I said, Wisconsin, he came and I was telling him like, bro, you know what I'm saying, it's the last 50 you gonna get. He's like, man, I got you, Jamaica, man, I got you, man. You know, I'm good for it. Anyways, gave him that. And you could tell they binging, bro. Whenever they binging, they go to getting stuff from everybody, bro. All over the place in other dorms. Sometimes you see them waving to the other dorms, talking to somebody up there in the other dorm. You already know what they doing. And knowing that they owe you so much money, sometimes you might tell them like, hey, bro, but now you gotta pay up now. Be like, yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm just getting something from the bro up here, all whatsoever. I'll be like, okay, cool.